Chiesa, who scored here at Wembley in the win over Austria, again keeps out Berardi on that right-hand side. Well, back-to-back games for Germany's Felix Brych. The final quarter-final, Ukraine against England, and now the first semi. Well, Spain, like Italy, had a serious casualty in their quarter-final forward, Pablo Sarabia. The choice seemed between Dani Olmo and Mikel Oyarzabal, but in fact they both start. Luis Enrique, who said earlier in the competition that his team was Alvaro Morata and 10 others, has contradicted himself now, naming this 11 without Morata. There is a change at the middle of the defence. Eric Garcia comes in for Pau Torres. So, Alan, we're ready to go. Two real great footballing powers here, but only one can reach the final.
Well, both sides like to press high, get the team up the pitch quickly. Spain have created so many chances in this competition. They haven't always taken those opportunities, but they're a team that likes to play on the front foot in the same way that the Italians do, so we should be in for a compelling contest here.
There's such an upgrade for both countries since the last World Cup, for which Italy failed to qualify, and Spain sacked their coach a couple of days before the tournament began and never really recovered in the competition in Russia. But we're underway in England, who are here tomorrow, but this is no warm-up for the host nation's supporters. This is a splendid occasion in its own right. Plenty of history in the tournament for both. Not too much international experience for Eric Garcia, who's going back to Barcelona from Manchester City, whereas his partner tonight, Aymeric Laporte, is very much still with City and scored a winning goal in this stadium, actually, earlier this year in the League Cup.
Just have a look at Spain's formation, attacking one, Oyarzabal on the right-hand side, Dani Olmo in the middle, Verratti with the foul. Wondered how they're going to line up in the attacking third, Spain, without Morata. I wonder if Luis Enrique just thought Morata would get bullied by Chiellini and Bonucci in a physical sense, so he's gone for something slightly different. Dani Olmo would just play off a little bit, I think, at times. That's the question of those two Italian centre-halves. Do they go in with him?
Cesar Azpilicueta, who's played here plenty of times recently for Chelsea, and has got himself back in the Spain lineup. Scored a goal, his first for his country, earlier in the tournament. Early minutes will be testing as they test each other out. Roberto Mancini, who's been here as a club manager, successful and unsuccessful. Pretty enough, he got revenge over Roberto Martinez in beating Belgium last Friday from an FA Cup final here 8 years earlier, when Martinez's team were very much the underdogs and Mancini's team faltered, and it was the last time he ever managed the club. Italy trying to play their way through the lines. No surprise to their setup.
Yeah, Dani Olmo just had a little nibble at Bonucci. An early one to introduce himself.
Game starting in evening sunshine. He's had all the seasons in one in North London today. Anderson's ball. And it's a fantastic ball. And it's hit the post.
He did look off well when he made that initial run.
He makes those runs so well.
He does. He does. Always looked like he had gone a little bit early. Look, you see the Spain defence holding. They knew he was off. It was a good effort, though, this. Takes the deflection. Thought it was going to find the far corner.
Frustration, but it would have been even more frustrating had it gone in, as it would have been chalked off. Unai Simon's an interesting character in Spain's goal. He's got the job ahead of David De Gea, a much more experienced goalkeeper. And he's had, well, perhaps the worst moment. Goal. He missed his kick. Worst moment of any goalkeeper in the tournament, but he's made some fine saves as well. And Luis Enrique has stuck with him.
Yeah, he had those 2 penalty saves against Switzerland, from villain to hero.
Until he come again. It's their way. Again, they're offside. That's not their way.
Yeah, Mobile, he does make good runs. He had a bit of a stinker last time out against Belgium. They need a better performance off him. But he'll keep going all match, making those kind of runs down the sides.
It's a 5th European semi-final for both countries. Spain actually have a 100% record of going through from their previous 4. Good work by Garcia. Spain can counter-attack. Olmo won't get that though. Bonucci can see it out.
It's been a good start to the match. Italy have really started in a positive fashion, but I think we're going to see this kind of pattern. It's going to be pretty open, end to end at times.
Forward towards Immobile. Interesting to see how Emerson does in the Spinazzola role. I like the man he's replaced. He is left-footed, playing on the left, but Spinazzola used his right-sidedness to be so impressive. And going infield, he opened the other side up for Insigne, who can also cut in, of course, and loves to score with his right foot from the left. It's almost a trademark, almost a patented effort. Jordi Alba.
Yeah, I mean, Spain have got that understanding of their own with Jordi Alba and Pedri, club mates with Barcelona. It is the blow, of course, it is for Italy, isn't it? Because Spinazzola did have that understanding with Insigne.
It is part and parcel of tournament football. We've often said the team that starts in the opening game is rarely the team that lines up for the final, if you're lucky enough or talented enough to go the distance. By Dani Olmo. Pedri's been an absolute phenomenon of the tournament. They've been glad to get to Marco Verratti up and at the opposition again. Having come into the tournament carrying an injury. It's always a little bit of a gamble to do that for the coaches, but with the extra number of players, they are being whittled down now through the injuries and the fact that you can't replace once you're injured in the tournament. It's a good decision by UEFA to go with the 26 from the start. Oyarzabal, after 5 appearances as a substitute, now in the starting 11. Roberto Mancini would have expected that. Probably would have expected to see Morata. This is well known to Italian defenders from his club career. Koke. Good, honest central midfield player. Over 50 caps now. And, coming here as a champion of La Liga with Atletico Madrid. And Garcia has to go back.
It's a good battle in the middle of the park, isn't it? 3 against 3. Who's going to come out the winners there?
It's nicely taken on the half turn by Dani Olmo. There's Jordi Alba, who actually played in the final in 2012, scored just at the outset of his great career.
Yeah, Chiesa's got a job on his hands for Italy on that side, with Jordi Alba trying to get forward at every opportunity and using his pace to do it.
He's working with Ferran Torres, who can play anywhere across the front line, and there's another of the Manchester City contingent in this tournament, in this match. Laporte. Pedri make it difficult for Barella, who likes to be going the other way.
Yeah, he tried a trick there, Barella, that didn't quite come off and gave the ball away.
Here's Koke. Plenty of early tackles. Koke's never scored for Spain. Oyarzabal, who has in this competition.
And plenty of white shirts getting in support there, getting themselves into the box when he got on the ball. A nice tempo to it, this match.
Italy unbeaten in 32 games. Spain 1 defeat in 29. It's some progress, particularly as both the current coaches were starting in a fairly underwhelming position in the sense of the players they inherited were not doing the business at international level. Some have been reactivated, others have been brought in. The spirit in both camps has been excellent. Laporte. Garcia, of course, started at Barcelona and has, to some extent, gone back home. Laporte. He's probably fed up with being asked questions about whether he feels at home after being born and growing up in France. Finding a way to qualify in the end. He was in France squads but never got on the pitch. He has started brightly, Dani Olmo. There's been a couple of nice turns. Got clipped then.
Yeah, and Spain enjoying some good possession the last few minutes.
And Chiesa having to defend again, as you said, Alan.
Yeah, a lot of Spain attacks come down that left-hand side.
Using the pace on the ball. Dani Olmo, boot almost ripped off. Made his name in Croatia. Gave up a very promising pathway in Spain, but it turned out well for him. His ball. Oh, Oyarzabal couldn't take it with him. Whether he was onside, I'm not sure.
Well, Pedri found some lovely space there. Time to turn, lift his head. Yeah, I don't know if the flag would have gone up.
Busquets, whose return to the team cannot be underestimated after, of course, missing the start of the tournament through testing positive for COVID. It was a very unpromising beginning for the Spain squad. They did have that advantage of playing those first 3 games in Seville, although they weren't too happy with the pitch that they were asked to play on. Koke. Laporte and Jordi Alba. Again, Olmo showing very good technique. You'd appreciate that, Alan, being in that position many times when the ball's played up to you. He's elusive.
Sharp. Yeah, he's looking sharp. The touch is nice and secure. It is a different sort of a threat to Morata. This was when Pedri did find some space, and he is onside. Oyarzabal, he'll be kicking himself about that. It's not a difficult one to control.
Now it's on his strong side too. That's what a semi-final can do to you. He's had a real run of being used from the bench.
Haven't been many matches that Italy have had the least of possession, and Spain have been dominating the ball the last 10 minutes as Italy have just dropped off and tried to keep the shape. Usually they've been dominating the ball.
On the way to Ferran Torres by Barella, and Torres, a decent try.
Yeah, Italy looking a little unsure of themselves on the back foot at the moment. Some good stuff, a loose pass there. Nice feet to get his shot away.
Not the first Spain side that's done well in this tournament with an F. Torres. Just pulled the shot in the end. And he was again one of those players asked to take on an inverted role. Well, it does suit coming in onto a stronger foot from the opposite flank. Seems very much the conventional way these days. Long by Bonucci, too long for Italy. Did get an acknowledgement from Chiesa.
Bonucci's a really good long passer of the ball, but it's a frustrating period for Italy, this.
Another lovely touch from Dani Olmo. And wide by Pedri to Ferran Torres. Good idea. Spain are showing plenty of good ideas in these early minutes, 15 of which have gone.
Yeah, there seems to be a nice balance to their attack with the changes that Luis Enrique's made. Dani Olmo at the centre of things.
It would be a very unusual experience for Italy to go behind. It hasn't happened in the last 17 games. So dominant have they been. But Spain are knocking on their door at the moment. Aspilicueta, a risky ball, and particularly when Busquets, like him, failed to control it.
Yeah, Barella asking for the yellow card against Spain's captain. And quite often you do see players booked for this kind of foul.
When it left Aspilicueta's foot, it looked dangerous to Spain.
They got some inventive set-piece routines, Italy. Worked really hard on them.
Well, it would be against the run of play if they made this set-piece count.
It's a high line from Spain.
Italy looking for a highlight. Taken by Insigne and Simon. Positive goalkeeper. Wasn't going to be found short here.
Yeah, and the keeper has a part to play when your defenders are keeping that kind of line.
Nicely played by Dani Olmo. And Spain get a corner. They're back on the attack again. Jorginho who is the fulcrum really of what happens from midfield further forward, hasn't been able to really get into his rhythm yet, and that's a compliment to the opposition, because he is having a wonderful tournament, and he's had a great season, of course, with Chelsea as well, a European champion at club level. Out-swinging corner, and Italy deal with the potential danger quite comfortably. The front three do have the capacity to interchange for Luis Enrique. But it's been difficult for Roberto Mancini. Two problems to try and solve here for his players.
Yeah, his defenders, quite often Chiellini, Bonucci, haven't got a man to mark. As you say, there's a fluidity to Spain's attack. And they'll drop off those defenders.
Into the feet of Dani Olmo again. It doesn't make progress and then interrupts the potential of a counter-attack then.
Yeah, I think he's pulled it back to the first foul, trying to give Verratti a bit of an advantage here, but that's the foul. Gets tripped as well.
Yeah, he was lucky actually, because the first foul was not really stopping an attack. The later foul was. Here goes Emerson. He might get there first. He has got there first. And Italy are in with a real chance here. Barella scrambling from Spain. They survive.
Well, Unai Simon's a relieved man here. He made a decision to come, and it was the wrong one. Got caught in no man's land. It's a nice 1-2 there on the left. You see the keeper never going to get there. And they just can't get the shot away, can they, Italy? Spain just do enough to protect that unguarded goal.
Yeah, it was just that moment Barella will wonder about whether he could have found a way to clip the ball towards the goal when it was unguarded. Just checking back, chopped back onto his left foot. It's been an intriguing 20 minutes.
Yeah, that should maybe lift Italy, who've been pushed onto the back foot too often for their liking, I'm sure.
Might just have won an early tactical battle here, Luis Enrique. General wisdom was that Italy would come out. They've been the team that have been on the front foot every game that they've played, and that Spain would possibly try and soak up some of that early pressure and then go at the game, but they've produced plenty of attacking ideas, and Italy know that their wonderful run, which is the best ever in the entire history of Azzurri, it's only a potential threat here, not to mention a place in the final of Euro 2020.
Yeah, I mean, the longer it stays at 0-0, the longer Italy have got to sort things out. As you say, I think this attacking formation of Spain's has probably caught them by surprise.
Emerson. It's hardly played for Chelsea. And a lot of talk that he might be leaving London to go back into Italian football. Originally from Brazil, of course. Chiellini's overclubbed that. Chiesa wanting some sort of service to get into the game.
Yeah, he's been a defender, Chiesa, more than an attacker.
that's a bit more of what Mancini perhaps has been calling for. Mancini trying to play it forward, try and harry and press, and win the ball a bit higher up the pitch. Barella's good at that.
Yeah, get him on the ball, Insigne too. That can get them moving forward.
Busquets. Actually played here and won the Champions League 10 years ago now with Barcelona. He's been around a long time. Momentous career.
Yeah, he's a master at his job. The way he moves the ball on.
And Spain are moving the ball on. Azpilicueta. Oyarzabal. Busquets trying to get a free kick there. One thing he doesn't do is score goals, so I don't think he was trying to slalom his way through to get at Donnarumma. Jordi Alba. Torres. Dani Olmo. And that's what experienced defending is all about. Bonucci easing his man out of the way.
Yeah, but Torres, again, he's just dropped off. Found space on the edge of the box. They don't know whether to stick or twist at times, those centre-halves.
It was certainly the talk in Italy before the tournament began. Would Bonucci and Chiellini still be strong enough? And they're under pressure again here and again. And Dani Olmo defied by the goalkeeper.
Well, he's a big lad, Donnarumma, but he had to get down quickly there. He did it superbly.
Well, that question was asked, I think, in the Italian media a month or so ago. Bonucci and Chiellini, have they run their course? Well, this tournament shows that they certainly haven't, but this is perhaps the most difficult 25 minutes or so they've had in the tournament. Of course, Chiellini hasn't played in every game.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody come along to really challenge them hard enough. But this is a reflection of how Spain have played going forward, full of invention. And they've got Italy stretched, certainly on target, certainly needed saving that.
And it stirred Italy. They've stopped in their tracks by the referee's whistle.
Good keeper, isn't he? One of the best in this tournament. Only young as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, still one of the youngest at 22. Nice real shot of the semi-final, and it produced an excellent stop. One thing that you mentioned, Chiesa having to defend. Of course, Di Lorenzo hasn't been able to push on down that far side from right back, still keeping the shirt with Florenzi.
Giving the ball away a lot of times.
Dani Olmo, who's backing his own ability. Of course, he is a player who can play out wide and trick defenders, and he's using that skill set to try and wrong foot the veterans in the blue shirts.
Mobile up top for Italy. He's hardly had a touch of the ball.
Again, the confidence of Pedri. His part in that move that's interrupted when Di Lorenzo came flying in at Ferran Torres.
Yeah, all those three forwards are making life difficult for the defenders in blue. They really are.
That is an experienced touch from Chiellini.
No doubt they're missing the thrust of Spinazzola down this left-hand side. They're a different team without him.
Well, Chiellini trying to provide a bit of thrust through the middle. Pass out to Chiesa, who didn't start the tournament in the team. Now, Immobile. Unai Simon's not bashful and coming himself off his line. As I said, he didn't quite get it right when the ball came down this left-hand side a few minutes ago.
Yeah, just getting a bit frustrated, the Italian defenders, in those kind of challenges.
Spiliqueta plays safe. Been a Chelsea player for 9 years now. Captains the club. Chiellini going across, but not committing himself. The ball has gone out. Pedri trying to smuggle it into play. Well, there's activity there. Berardi.
And if there's an injury to Chiesa, you would imagine would be the one. That's his position, Berardi's.
So you'd be surprised if he came on anywhere else in the team. Half an hour gone.
Yeah, somebody that likes to carry the ball forward, maybe. Mancini, it's a way of getting his team up the pitch.
Which they're certainly not doing as they have done for so many years now. It's a fantastic sequence. Verratti letting Koke know he's around. Two players of quite similar types in terms of competitive streaks.
As this match wears on, you could see tempers getting more and more frayed, and the ref might have to reach into his pocket at some stage.
Well, the previous yellow cards are wiped out at this stage. Consequence of some big names missing out in the final through suspension. Chiellini. Emerson, Insigne. Emerson trying to put it forward again to Immobile, but that kind of setup through midfield is just not working. Luis Enrique has put a bit of a squeeze on it, and in the three attackers he has selected, individually and collectively, they are posing problems. Here they come again. Dani Olmo. Well, that possibly was the wrong decision, but he's pumped up. 23 with Leipzig these days.
Yeah, Koke was the man to rob the ball off Verratti. They're just a bit quicker, aren't they, Spain? Sharper in everything they do.
Long ball from Donnarumma, and it was 2-on-2. It was worth the attempt. They have been a bit brittle at the back, Spain, and another change at centre-back for the semi-final. Garcia started a couple of games earlier in the competition. Pau Torres been in and out, and Laporte, of course, is very new to all this, though An experienced player with Manchester City. He hasn't come off the best season he's had at the club. He's actually not so often been in the team. John Stones of England and Ruben Dias of Portugal have been the go-to centre-backs for Pep Guardiola in many of the big games.
Just trying to be a bit more aggressive now, Italy, to get the ball back, to try and gain a foothold again in this match.
Insigne. A bit back from Immobile, and the flag did go up. He's struggling to get into the game and needs those around him to provide a bit more.
That was onside.
Yeah, it was
well on.
Emerson. They are a little bit similar in appearance. Insigne, a shorter man. I think the assistant got that one wrong. It hasn't happened very often in this tournament. The officiating has been of an extraordinarily high level.
Just beginning to win one or two tackles now, Italy. Getting the ball back.
By Insigne again, the offside flag goes up. Well, I must say Spain have settled to the dimensions of Wembley, if you like. Here and talked about whether a yellow card would come out. He's trying very hard, Felix Brich, to lay down the law without producing from his pocket. But Torres letting us know that he was caught then.
Yeah, I don't think, credit to the refs, they haven't always fallen for that kind of reaction. Yeah, it was a late challenge, but the foul, nothing more.
Koke. Azpilicueta. Koke again. Back to Busquets. Laporte. Pedri. Tough for those who've come from the generation behind the glorious Spanish team. Won 3 major tournaments in a row, 2 European titles in the World Cup. A brand of football which marks them as one of the great international teams ever. Italy have their history as well. Are they going to have a free kick here? No.
Yeah, I think he took the wrong option there. Emerson, he had Chiesa to his right. 1 or 2 touches too many. Really good run from him, cutting inside.
Italy haven't had an attempt yet. And it's the longest spell they've had in this tournament. They've had lots of attempts.
Yeah,
scored plenty of goals. Spain are the leading scorers in the competition with those back-to-back 5s, of course.
And it's unfamiliar territory for Italy in this tournament, and it's how they react to it. What they have got, of course, is plenty of quality off the bench. Players that have changed the game for them, the likes of Bassino and Locatelli.
You mentioned Chiesa perhaps not doing what Mancini wanted. He's still on the pitch. There's still a bit of a dialogue going on. Not happy.
Well, you can understand that.
It's Busquets who's not happy with the referee.
Yeah, he didn't do much at all there, Busquets. was an earlier one, I think.
That was the one on Emerson's surge forward, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Chiellini and Wembley not able to get on the ball again. They're working hard, Italy, but trying to engage with Spain. That's better in terms of a successful challenge by Jorginho. Insigne. Sabal wins it, went on running. But the switch to Pedri, and now Jordi Alba, and now Oyarzabal. Well, you could see what he was trying to do.
Yeah, he's just a mile away from achieving it.
He appreciates the intention.
But this has been a flaw of Spain's lack of cutting edge at times, not always, but been a bit profligate in front of goal on occasion.
And that's been the criticism, of course, of Morata. Led to him not being in the team. Gerard Moreno's also had a go at it. But finding an all-round striker who has all the old-fashioned values and the modern ability to let the ball down and play and involve his teammates, not just have to have chances created for him. A rare breed. Well, it wasn't going to quite get to Unai Simon in the penalty area. It was a good decision. It's a real... they're like piranhas in there, snapping away.
Well, Spain are forcing Italy to play at a pace that they're finding difficult. Busquets is leading that midfield trio brilliantly, and they've got the upper hand there in the middle of the park. Jorginho and Barella, Verratti finding it difficult.
Yeah, they've been the bosses, haven't they, in most of their games? In fact, all of the games. But the further you go, the greater the tests. Chiellini. Spain not often having to be in their defensive shape like this. They have the full position when the opposition have the ball in their own half. I can't think of a spell of controlled possession that Italy have had. There's Bonucci. They're trying to make it happen. There's no shortage of effort. But Spain just a little smarter at the moment. But it's 0-0, and we're well inside the last 5 minutes in the first half.
Interesting to see if he does make a change at half-time to try and turn the tide of this match.
Garcia. It's a nicely weighted pass. Pass the ball generally better. The team in white. And Pedri, you can see why they talk about him a fit for the post-Iniesta Xavi times. Look at that.
Yeah. He's finding space, but he's finding it too easily. Jorginho and Koa have got to get to grips with his movement. He's some talent.
Second youngest of 50 appearances for Barcelona. Second behind is certainly Leo Messi. Puts him in a very good company.
He's played so much football, hasn't he, for club and country this season. That speaks volumes for his character.
Yeah, and the bigger the games, the greater the test. Certainly not looked in any way overawed by what he's been facing here at Wembley so far. Just the opposite, in fact. The opposition are a bit overawed on him. And that should be a booking, really, for Koke. But Felix Brich, I think he's still in the generous mood. That was stopping a counter-attack.
Yeah, I mean, the game's been played at such a pace, easy to hand out a booking and then find you've got to book somebody twice. I don't think the ref would want to produce a red card on an occasion like this.
You remember Felix Brich in the second half in the game in Rome between Ukraine and England, didn't add on any time at the end. There were 3 Ukraine substitutes trying to get on and have a taste of at least a few seconds in the competition. You can see it at half-time, but very rarely does that happen in the second half when there's been goals celebrated and substitutions. Let's see what he does here. Here's Insigne for Emerson. Italy are in, and that's by far as close as they've come on the stroke of half-time.
They're claiming that Simon got a touch on that. I think he did clip the top of the crossbar. But if they can get the ball across here to Insigne in this fashion, they can get themselves back in this game. Just holds his run, Emerson, he's onside. It's a tight angle, but no, the keeper doesn't touch it, it just clips the bar.
Actually, Laporte played him very onside in the middle. Well, that might be something just to cheer up Roberto Mancini. Half-time approaches. And Felix Brich does bring the half to a close. Another stoppage. And he's pointing at the clock, maybe. He's made a couple of good saves. Spain have been the better side. And Italy right at the end, with Emerson threatening to get the semi-finals first goal. But at half-time at Wembley, between these two great rivals from southern Europe, it's Italy 0, Spain 0.
Many thanks there to Martin Tyler and Alan Smith at Wembley Stadium. Very well poised at the break. It's all to play for in the second half, as cliched as that sounds, but it truly is for a spot in the final. Our halftime show with our two pundits is coming up next here on Astro Supersport.
Challenges keep coming. I keep rising to them. If dandruff keeps coming back, I have Clear Men. New triple anti-dandruff technology. Activate scalp to remove, resist, prevent dandruff. For 100% confidence, clear and recurring dandruff.
They say running is a lonely sport. That when you run alone. But when I run for Trelawney. I run for Jamaica. Their beliefs run with me. Their spirit and their hopes run with me. And the more that joined, the faster we became. When When you're the fastest man alive, people think you leave the world behind. But when you run together, the world moves with you.
Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, live on Astro. Heavyweights versus underdogs. 4K UHD. The UEFA Euro 2020 on Astro in HD, 4K UHD, and Astro Go.
Lots of chances throughout the opening 45 minutes. You would probably have to say Spain were the better of the two sides, but of course, it can never write off the Italians, not with another 45 minutes to go. Hisense halftime report. Official partner of UEFA Euro 2020, your home, your stadium. Federico Belzerati and also Jose Enrique are with me here. Let's get straight into the key moments from the game, starting with Spain out of possession. Federico, does this concern you with how they're forcing Italy to play when they have the ball?
Yeah, they play very well. Spain, they deserve to stay 1-0. minimum to win. And yes, they forced us to play a long ball, great aggressivity, so we are out of our comfort zone. And they press a lot. Also, when they're losing a ball, this is one of the principles of the game. The Guardiola and now Luis Enrique, as one of the force of this team. Also, when they lose the ball, it's 2-3 player very close to make the first pressing. And this is very difficult for us to go out to the first pressure. Here, look here. There's 1, 2, 3, always forward, always to recover the ball. And we get the ball no more than 3, 4, 5 seconds. And it's difficult for us and Spain. We have to understand if they play 2 times overtime, if they have the same aggressivity during the 90 minutes, because they play really, really, really well.
Vivo, your voice, Vivo X60 series, photography redefined, co-engineered with Zeiss. A comment from Scienton, who says Dani Olmo as a false 9 working perfectly for Spain. Italian midfield been getting bypassed completely. Jorginho Verratti out of the game completely. Let's talk about Dani Olmo. Jose, how impressive has he been in this game? Because he is causing the Italians a lot of problems at the back.
Yeah, well, here is what we talked about before the game, that everything is going to be in the midfield, and what is happening is dropping to that position as a really like a number 10, really. So what was happening is they played 4 against 3 in the middle. Dani Olmo dropped into that position, so they don't know how to handle, because Bonucci and Cellini, they are not following him, because it's very difficult. If you follow him, maybe it's leaving a space behind. I really believe Mancini is going to change something in there, because we've been killing them like this, so obviously something has to change, but definitely it's been really, really good. It's been a bit, selfish in that one. In the one it was just on TV now. I believe obviously he has Oyarzabal on the right there to play him, but it's been fantastic play by Spain. The thing is, if we can keep it up for 90 minutes with that intensity, because obviously we played last game 120 minutes like this. So hopefully we can keep it like that. If we keep it like that, we are the favorites. But the reality, we come back to the same thing. 0-0 against Italy, can happen anything.
Yeah, just to give a couple of stats, he's had 3 shots, 1 on target, 88.2 passing accuracy as well, with 17 total passes and 1 foul, 1. So he's definitely something to keep an eye on in the second half. But what about the Italians? Why haven't they really got going so far, Federico? Their build-up play is just not very Italian-like from what we've seen in the tournament.
Yes, but Spain press very, very well. That is a key. That we are very, very difficult in the first build-up. Look here, Luis Enrique is very, very aggressive. 1 against 1, Pedri and Koke on Jorginho and Verratti. And for us, if we play with the long ball, this is an opportunity. But it's not in our force to play with a long ball. Look the pressure, like 1 against 1. And they live to play Giorgio Chiellini, is not his top quality on the build-up. A long ball, and it's not easy. The distance of the Spain, they are very good because they stay in 25 in 30 minutes, you know, and the two midfielder always stay on Jorginho and on Verratti, and they limited very well. This is an opportunity, the last one that we have, the more clear we have, with a long ball, a change of side, and then with Emerson that I think is playing not bad. He's created the last two chances that we have is Emerson that create this.
There's one more thing I want to discuss here, which will be taking your chances, because I brought this up during the pre-show, Jose. This is for the Spanish side. Yes, they've scored 12 goals, but 10 have come in 2 games. The last match against Switzerland, no Spanish player found the back of the net. They had 28 shots, 10 on target. It was an own goal that put a goal next to their name on the score sheet. So this is the Italians you're playing against. If you're not going to take your chances, you're not going to get too many of them either.
Yeah, exactly. That's the key, what you mentioned there. At the end, listen, in my opinion, we have great players in front, you know, Ferran Torres, you know, Yartabal, Olmo, they are great players, you know, I really love them, but we don't have a world-class number 9 killer there. You know, that's the reality. We don't have a Lewandowski or Harry Kane like England. Look at England, for example, playing Harry Kane, don't playing very well, maybe Harry Kane, 1 chance, 2 chances, 1 in, finish. You know, that's what you want from a number 9. And that's what we're missing. It's like you said, we have 12 goals, yeah, but 10 of them goals actually come in 2 games, you know? So when you miss that many chances against Italy, bad news, you know, because they are a great team. They are, you know, obviously, listen, we won in penalties last game, but the reality, you need to score the chances that you have at least one. For me, we have 2 clear ones. The one Pedri passed to Oyarzabal, that the pass is, oh my God, I don't know how he's seen that pass. I couldn't even see on TV. I don't know how he's seen it live there. It was incredible. Oyarzabal was very simple to control in front of him and try to finish there. I don't know what he's done there. And Dani Olmo as well, the chance he has as well there. Them 2 chances, at least one of them has to go in. And then you are 1-0 up against Italy. The game is completely different. Italy has to come and attack you. You will have more spaces. Now with 0-0, everything can happen.
Yeah, there's so many different things which could settle this game. I mean, how brave are Italy going to be in the second half? The Spanish, they're operating with an extremely high line. Is it fully trustworthy? Will it last for 90 minutes against the Italians? All of those questions we're hoping will be answered next. Stay tuned. We're back in a moment for the second half between Italy and Spain at Wembley Stadium.
People think I'm too quiet, too awkward, that I don't fit the box of what an Olympian should be. But I'm proof that the definition is bigger than people think. I want to inspire the girls out there watching right now. The ones some people think are too different, too quiet, too something. And if we don't fit that expectation of what people think we're supposed to be, good. That just means we're the ones who get to change it.
Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, live on Astro.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo!
The world needs you.
Mortal Kombat. I gotta get home. Kong bows to no one.
Rent and stream the biggest blockbusters in 4K UHD from our store on demand.
今天发生的一切，统统不要忘记。
尸体被发现的时候啊，已经从腰部这边被截成2半。
案发现场发现尸体的样子，跟23年前那个案子一模一样。这你还觉得是个茬吗？
不用过
这个手法的人都死了。
23年前的事情跟我一点关系。
确定。
Trinity of Shadows. 2 new episodes every Sunday, 9 p.m. on HBO.
One of the most iconic fighters in mixed martial arts history.
He wants to regain his position at the top of the heap.
But he orders people. Dustin Poirier!
He really does want to be nothing but the best.
He has beat world champions. He's here to get his hand raised.
The hottest ticket in UFC history.
The king is back. Let's go!
Live Sunday on Fox Sports.
Prior to the game, we were slightly puzzled about the team selection by Luis Enrique, and so far, at least in the opening of the match, it's paid off. Sergio Busquets has controlled the midfield, the key battle we discussed beforehand. So what does Roberto Mancini do for the second half, Federico? How does he shake things up? How does he get the Italians back into this?
Yes, as you told, be better on the midfielder. Maybe make the same. Like Insigne false 9 and Immobile didn't play well. So maybe Insigne false 9 and with Chiesa and Berardi, so use the same tactical that Luis Enrique did in the first half.
We'll see how brave they're going to be in the second half. But for the Spanish, they also have to be wary, Jose. They have to be wary about how good Italy are on the break. We saw that in the first half. And we also have to be wary of the Spanish high line in defence as well, because that could be exploited.
Yeah, obviously, like we said before, at the end, we should be 1-0 up in the first half, and you are not. So obviously, it's still the same game as it started. You know, it's just 45 minutes if they don't go to extra time. And it's very, very difficult because Italy, like we were talking before, just to have 2 chances in the whole game is very, very difficult. We already have them chances in the first half. I'm more worried about the tiredness of the players. If we keep the intensity that we put in the first half, I really believe we can really win this game. But like you say, at the end in halftime, Mancini, I'm sure he obviously changed something for try to control more Olmo, and it's going to be more difficult for us. But I'm positive they're playing really, really well.
There was an expectation by many that this would be a very cagey game. Now, the scoreline may be goalless, but it has been a great tempo and thoroughly entertaining so far. So let's keep our fingers crossed, particularly as it's so late here in Malaysia, that it'll be equally entertaining in the second half. Passing over, back to your match commentators, Alan Smith, Martin Tyler.
Only one player, Alan, has had 100% passing rate. It's the 18-year-old Pedri, 31 completed passes.
Yeah, and most of them positive in the opposition's half, asking questions of Italy. But no changes for the Azzurri. I think Mancini won't hang about if the pattern of the match stays the same. He'll look towards his bench.
Well, no changes from either head coach. And we'll see if there's any change in strategy. Chiesa, who did look the most vulnerable to come off in terms of Mancini. Sometimes players don't want to play hard up against the dugout, as Chiesa had to do in the first half. He's a long way away from his coach now, so maybe he'll relax a little bit more and get into the game. A Wembley goal to his name against Austria.
Yeah, not a good start to the second half. Loose ball from Bonucci.
Who's going to make the breakthrough here? Reminder that in regulation time, they're 11 versus 11 in terms of results, as well as 11 versus 11 on this pitch this evening. And they've clashed in many important fixtures as well. He played in the Euro in England, Euro 96, and played at the old Wembley for Barcelona, scored against Arsenal when they were using that stadium as a home ground for the Champions League campaigns.
I think he'd just be a little bit concerned though. They've had the upper hand, they've created good chances and not taken any. He would expect Italy to get better in this second half.
Busquets. There's Jordi Alba. The flag is up. You could look at it this way, Alan, that we haven't seen the best of Italy, and maybe we have seen the best of Spain. Might be what Mancini is hoping for, but Spain are going about their business with Busquets at the hub of all the play going on around him. He's a remarkable player.
I think that's the key in this match. If Italy can do better in that midfield contest and gain better possession, that's a loose one, isn't it?
Unai Simon, who, as I say, has had one horrendous moment, and that one leads to a corner which leads to a goal. It would be right alongside the Shank missed kick against Croatia.
Well, he had the misjudgment in the first half when he came out against Barella. Got nowhere near.
So Insigne will take the corner. Chiellini is up there. Fans are hoping that Laporte climbs high. Slightly out of shape defensively, Italy. They were able to recover the ball. Had much more Immobile than this sort of thing to chase, but he's chased that one with a bit more success. And when the ball sat up, I just wonder whether he might be able to steer the shot goalwards.
Yeah, I think technically he does suffer sometimes, but when it's a strap like this, chasing a loose ball, he can be a pest, a nuisance. It's not an easy finish.
Spain with this freshened up front line. Without Morata, Dani Olmo puts in a really testing ball.
Yeah, he's having a really good game, Dani Olmo. Ferran Torres, that needed sorting, didn't it, by Di Lorenzo?
Good defending, with an excellent cross. Ferran Torres almost in the right place, but Di Lorenzo just got across him. Spain's corner. Koke in charge. Probably close to Busquets' head.
What a ball in that was from Koke. Driven.
Jordi Alba loses out. Busquets there again.
Yeah, it looked a good tackle to me.
Yeah. And this time he's... I'd like to think the referee had made up his own mind before the Italians swarmed around him.
No, to be fair, Insigne, Immobile did protect the ball and he didn't get it. Busquets, and it's a totting up, I think, for him. That's why he gets the yellow.
And the generosity of the first half from the German referee. It's good work by Donnarumma. How close was Busquets to this? Just maybe dipped at the last, and Donnarumma was able to really punch it clear. It's a game of fine margins. Can't overstate what he has done to the national team, Roberto Mancini, in terms of bringing them all together not just concentrating on players from the very big clubs. Giving the feeling that everyone will have a chance, and he's given every player but the third goalkeeper a chance to play in this competition. Lekor did well to get there, and what was a clearance has turned into a counter-attack. Oh, it's Abel, still going. Oh, just over the top from Busquets. As I said in the first half, he doesn't get many goals, but he was close to what would only be his third for Spain here.
Well, that was unnecessary from Italy. Immobile had time to make his pass, and he's given the ball away. And Italy are scrambling. They're their own worst enemies at times out here, Italy. Maybe that lack of a goal-scoring instinct supplies the lack of conviction there. It's not a bad effort, though.
It's a lovely touch by Immobile. Better from Italy, Insigne. Two great pals combining. Now Barella. Chiesa. Gets the shot through. And Unai Simon got down very quickly and needed to. Swift counter-attack from Italy.
Yeah, those supporters calling for more effort, more of this kind of attacking play. Chiesa never delays trying to get his shot away. He can be a threat on this right-hand side. Hasn't had many of these opportunities, though.
Well, that might have impressed his manager a little bit more than some of his work in the first half, or so we think. Laporte. Good atmosphere in Wembley, despite the difficulties of getting fans from the two countries into this stadium on this particular evening. There's definitely a Spain end and an Italy end. Pretty congested as well. There's Abel. There's Koke. Laporte coming forward. Jordi Alba all the while was waiting his advanced left back, as he so often does. Be coming his way, but Italy have shuttled across. Ceded to Austria, Italy here. Kalajdzic made a game of it late on, and then of course they conceded to that Lukaku penalty in the quarter-final. Coming to 10 minutes of the second half, both sides still keeping clean sheets in the first semi-final of Euro 2020, and they will be thinking substitutes. And here is one. The one that we thought might even come on before half-time. Chiesa, and may well be a player to depart, but we'll see.
I think many of Italy's problems lie not on the flanks, but through the middle, really. Immobile's not giving his team any real quality in that position, in the way that Dani Olmo is for Spain through the middle.
And they can't get Jorginho on the ball as much as they would like. There's Verratti. And from Chiellini. And now Insigne. And Emerson. The cross hard and low. Not decisively. Only one try and find, and Dani Olmo's been a very, very impressive one, and he's done brilliantly then. Pedri. Now Ferran Torres going for glory. Italy block.
Yeah, it's a night when Chiellini and Bonucci are looking their age. And the likes of Dani Olmo are making that happen.
He did very well again, Dani Olmo. He was the only player by some distance, 40 metres, in white for Spain, and he's giving away a free kick here, but for someone who's not always in the team, he's been up to the stresses of a semi-final.
Well, you've got to be a good athlete to play for Leipzig, and he certainly is that.
He's in the European Under-21 winning team a couple of years ago, scored in the final. Busquets. Oyarzabal likes to shoot, and that's a pretty decent try. One or two wild ones in the first half.
Really giving Italy a lesson here tonight, Spain, in many parts of the field, particularly the central area, that midfield.
Immobile. Chance to impress himself on the game here. Jordi Alba, he was outnumbered. Italy's central striker.
Another loose pass.
Busquets. Tidier play from Spain, especially from this young man. Torres back to Pedri again. Busquets. He didn't close him down, and he'll always pick a pass if you let him do that. Koke. But can Spain get a goal? That's the burning question, really. Lekor. It's out to Jordi Alba. Too close to the goalkeeper. Dani Olmo gone to the near post. Italy try and spring forward. Insigne for Immobile. And, picked up here by Chiesa. Oh! Sensational in the semi-final. That's a goal he scored in against Austria. He's loving Wembley, and the Italian fans are loving him.
Well, talk about smash and grab. Talk about a goal against the run of play. But Chiesa, he's got that quality. On right or left foot, they get themselves going early on through Donovan and Insigne. What a pass that is to stretch this Spain defence. After that, it's all about the break of the ball and Chiesa latching onto it. To do that, we've seen Insigne do this from a very similar position, and that is straight out the top drawer, just like his teammates. We wondered whether Spain's dominance and their lack of cutting edge in front of goal would come back to haunt them. Well, he just has.
There's an old saying in football: go and find the ball, don't wait for it to come to you. And maybe he waited a bit in the first half, but he found the ball when it broke loose from Laporte's challenge and absolutely devoured the opportunity. It's Chiesa's moment. It's his goal. The change still happens. Oh, Morata's on for Spain. Berardi for Immobile.
Yeah, I think that had to happen. He wasn't giving enough. Looks like Insigne's going to play through the middle now.
Confirmation of the changes. Well, that's an incentive for Morata. Left out after being heavily supported by Luis Enrique in the face of criticism from the Spanish media, Spanish supporters. Knowing how football sometimes paints its remarkable stories, maybe it wouldn't be such a surprise if Morata came on and equalised here. That's what Spain will be hoping for. Certainly got the quality to do it. Maybe he's got the character to do it. We'll see. That's behind him. And it's headed away by Chiellini for a corner. Now there's a few Italian smiles. Now they're fist bumping, high-fiving.
Well, ask them to defend a lead, and there's not many better than Chiellini and co. As comfortable, as uncomfortable as they've looked tonight at times. They've got a cause to fight now.
Oyarzabal takes, carried away by that noble brow of Giorgio Chiellini. Pedri trying to work with Dani Olmo.
He's as smooth as silk.
He's honestly, it's the first time I've seen him play in the flesh, and I won't forget. He is a remarkable young player. And he's got to try and be, I think, a real catalyst for change here. He's one who is giving the quality when Spain are in possession. Laporte. I thought he'd probably made the tackle that saved the danger. But Chiesa had other ideas. Chiesa's now on the left. Can't stop the cross coming in from the Spain right. Berardi's header. And he goes to Jordi Alba. Koke! Oh! That could have been for Oyarzabal.
And the flag's up. Which he'll be relieved. Yes, he will be. He will be, following that one in the first half.
Yeah, we'll see whether it actually was offside, of course.
You'll hope it was. No, it wasn't. No. Bonucci, I think, playing him on.
That is a miss. He missed one in the first half. We couldn't drag the ball through very early, probably the first real moment in an opposing penalty area. There haven't been that many of it because not many of those kind of clear-cut openings so well matched have the two teams been, but in different ways, different philosophies. Italy have great faith, and the stats tell you why, in their ability to score goals.
Yeah, we said it at the start, though, you never quite know what you're going to get out of Spain. A team that can get 5 in successive games can also endure these kind of performances where they're absolutely brilliant up until the finish.
Chiellini, absolutely solid, smacks the clearance away. So the gauntlet's been thrown down. Can Spain pick it up? Oyarzabal. It was Dani Olmo. It was a nice link up between two of the front three then.
Yeah, he timed his run beautifully here, Dani Olmo, coming onto the play. Another chance goes begging. Is it going to be one of those nights for Spain?
Now Italy have only failed to score in one of 30, their last 30 internationals in this extraordinary run under Roberto Mancini. Morata's challenge. And Barella picked himself up thinking he was going to get a free kick. Now he's got the ball. I'd be happy with that. Just gets in the way. Morata. Berardi. Insigne. And smuggles it through to Berardi. It's Chiesa. He wants more. It's a lovely ball for Berardi. Well stopped by the goalkeeper. But this is the Italy we know, Alan, who can attack. But they didn't have enough of the ball in the first half to be able to flex those muscles.
Goals, as we know, change games, and it's happened once more. I see him on just making sure he kept his legs closed there, that it didn't creep through from a tight angle.
It's amazing, I think Chiesa had only scored one goal for Italy before this tournament. Now he's been to Wembley twice and got 2 goals for his efforts. More changes planned by Luis Enrique. Koke. Italy quite happy to see Spain pass it around here. They have the goal, but they're not that historic type of Italian team. They obviously take great pride in their defending, but it's not a defensive mindset in the Mancini era. Changes could be made. I got the ball, said Dani Olmo.
Yeah, this was the chance for Berardi. He didn't quite catch it as well as he would have liked. He gets it on target.
Gerard Moreno. It's on for Oyarzabal. And Rodri, another who knows Wembley from his Manchester City days. He scored in the previous League Cup win over Aston Villa in the 1920 season. He's an organiser, and he's going to play alongside Busquets. And 20 minutes to go, and Spain played in many ways impressively. Need to find something extra. Laporte. It's a challenging ball. Back across by Moreno. Jordi Alba will keep it in, and he's wedged out across Donnarumma. He's taken underneath the ball.
It's the only way to stop Donnarumma really claiming it. He's a huge goalie. A cheeky little nudge in the back from Azpilicueta, trying to look innocent about it.
He would tell you that Donnarumma was coming backwards, and he just stood his ground, but I think there was a bit more to it. I think you read it right, Alan. You mentioned earlier Matteo Pessina, who got the decisive goal against Wales, and here against Austria, as it turned out. Here goes Berardi. Unai Simon Just prevents the corner.
Yeah, it should be the type of contest for Berardi now. On the counter-attack of Spain, push more men forward. Should be a bit of space for the winger to use his pace.
Interesting to see where Toloi comes on and plays. He can play anywhere across the, certainly right back and centre back. Be surprised if maybe they might go to a back three to try and see it through, give a little bit of cover to the veteran pair.
Spain have a few flaws, but there's one thing that they don't do, and that's fail to create chances, and they haven't failed tonight, but they've got to create a few more to test him and his defenders now.
Well, he apologised for that. He was under hit.
It's not been a great night for him. It's not been a great night for Italy's midfield.
Messina, who was not in the original squad, has certainly contributed. Replaced Sensi. And it's Emerson, I think, who's going to go off as well. Of course, hasn't been playing in 90 minutes. Not been doing that regularly. It's a tough ask. So one Brazilian-born player for another. And the colours of Italy. He's really going to reorganise. He's not going into left back. He's going to send Di Lorenzo across to left back.
Yeah, the ref will be conscious of any time wasting now, just pointing at his watch. It's early on. Good 20 minutes probably still to go.
Nicely done by Insigne. Here is Di Lorenzo now at left back. This pass cut out by Azpilicueta. Still very much in the melting pot. Unai Simon with another escapade outside his penalty area. Here's Laporte. Daniel tucking it round the corner, but not into Morata's path. Donnarumma does really distribute the ball well. It's one of his many qualities.
I don't think he's been so good at it tonight, actually. What you would say about Italy's goal, and as poor as Immobile, I think, played, if he hadn't have made that run, Italy wouldn't have scored. They haven't got anybody now to, through the middle, at least, to make those runs beyond.
But his natural replacement, Andrea Belotti, hasn't been in very good form himself. And he'll be disappointed, I'm sure, sitting in the dugout, that he wasn't given the chance to come on and do the same job. But Chiesa had just scored and rather rammed into the manager's mind his importance, so I don't think he was ever coming off once that goal flew in. And Roberto Mancini from the other side of the pitch would have had a wonderful angle on the curve of the shot. There's Moreno won the Europa League with Villarreal.
Yeah, he's a good finisher normally, isn't he? He'll be hoping for a chance out there at some point.
Here's Morata, though. I think it was a safe decision not to go for goal when it first came to him. The angle wasn't very advantageous.
I think he knew as well that there was nobody actually to cut it back to. So it's not a bad result in the end to win a corner.
Well, they've got more height now with Rodri and Morata. Away by Berardi. Laporte. The thought was right, but not the execution from Jordi Alba. Time is on Italy's side, but it's such a tight affair. We need that one moment of inspiration that Chiesa provided for the opposition. Unless, of course, Italy score again. Another adventure for Unai Simon. Whacked it into Laporte.
Yeah, it's been one or two nervous moments, haven't there, with the keeper tonight.
I think the hurry-up is on from all the officials. Chiellini.
Control that, and he does.
Bonucci, ooh, he showed too much of that to Alvaro Morata. That's twice Morata's been able to get the foot into potential clearances from, first of all, Donnarumma and then Bonucci. Spain are reaching for the bench again. Desperate times in the semi-final. Team that's never failed to get through when they've got to the last four. Italy trying to press higher. Doing a pretty good job of it to win it back. Berardi! Which would have been the perfect end to a successful press.
Yeah, the first touch you don't see there, but it makes him have to shuffle around the ball. Loses a bit of time and a bit of an angle on it.
Well, they are being outpossessed, but not outscored. And here's Morata. Gets it back. Alvaro Morata does it for Spain. What a story that is. From the bench into the limelight. And he never looked like missing. That's the quality he has. They found the goal in their time of desperate need. And it's Italy 1, Spain 1.
Yeah, been criticised, hasn't he, at various times in this tournament, Morata, for his wastefulness in front of goal. But cometh the hour, he steps forward. And Dani Olmo, who's had a sterling game, absolute stormer, he provides the assist with a lovely little weighted pass. But the first touch opens it up for the centre forward. That's what he was after. Donnarumma committed. And just when you were wondering whether his players had the answer, one of his substitutes comes to the rescue. This match is beautifully set up now.
And the Chiellini-Bonucci barricade is cracked. It's one of those chances where you don't have too much time to think about it. It happens, it's in the net. And he is a hero for Spain. Well, this rivalry that's produced so many gripping contests. And 11 victories apiece. There's parity again here.
And you cannot say Spain do not deserve it. It's a match, really, that they pretty much dominated from the first kick-off. they've been the better team.
Well, he got 3 in the last European Championship. He's got 3 in this one. None more valuable than the one you've just witnessed. That could have ended up anywhere.
I don't know who wins this initially.
I thought it was coming off Chiellini, but the Spanish head get there first. Busquets it was.
Yeah, it was. He just climbed well in the box, Busquets.
Italy are shaken. Spain are stirred. Insigne.
Well, those Spanish subs have sat back down, haven't they? Italy are going to make one now, I think.
It was a lovely goal, though. Just as Chiesa's was, in a different way. It's a splendid semi-final. And we're nowhere near knowing who is going to pitch up here at Wembley on Sunday evening.
Yeah, it's been a high-quality affair. Most of the quality, you have to say, coming from the team in white.
Here goes. He's very pumped up. Alvaro Morata. Oh. The referee didn't make it too easy for Gerard Moreno.
And the flag goes up again.
And again, VAR would have had a good look at that if it had balls in there. It is so hard. I have every sympathy with the assistant referees. There's such pace in the game. Locatelli and Belotti. Locatelli got the 2 goals in Switzerland. Sparella, as you said earlier about Verratti, it's not been their night in midfield.
Yeah, it's been difficult for all of them. Being rushed and harried, knocked out the stride. He played a big part in that equaliser, though, Insigne.
So Belotti will go through the middle. He is the second Immobile, if you like. And on comes Marcos Llorente. Who was coursing through his veins and his family history. Born and bred to be involved in an occasion like this. 5 minutes away from extra time. Always had a look of a game, Alan, that could go the full distance.
We're at the stage now, sorry, that neither team, neither set of players wants to make a mistake. It can get a little bit cautious. Alternatively, he can go all out to try and get a late winner.
Yeah, I would imagine Italy would come into the second camp. And Spain should be in as well, because they're playing well.
Yeah, I mean, the substitutions for Italy would suggest, yeah, that Mancini's trying to grab a late winner.
High foot by Bonucci, connected with the ball. From Morata. Foul by Jorginho. Getting a finger wagging from Felix Brich. Last one, I think. He's been outfoxed by Pedri. Has to bring him down then.
Yeah, just quick up the youngster there.
Laporte. And almost done very well again, and here goes Jordi Alba on the charge. He's got Morata with him. Others arriving in white. Morata. That's the other side. But he got the goal absolutely right. Quick and slick.
Yeah, that first touch opens it up, and it looks an easy finish, doesn't it? But it requires a lot of composure in a big moment for his country.
Don't worry, Alvaro, we are looking at you. The question still remains, who will be celebrating at the end? We're going on that far side to catch Spain with maybe too much attacking in their minds. Llorente did start the tournament as the right back. It's on at the end of the regulation 90. Berardi. Bonucci actually was coming back from an offside position. Into the 90th minute, but the board will tell us we're hearing it might be 3. Rodri. Dani Olmo, been right at it from the start.
Handball.
Yeah. Big shouts from the Spanish contingent. It might be revisited, but Italy are going to try and do something dramatic at the other end with Chiesa. Took 4 to stop him. The 3 added is confirmed.
It'd be good to see that incident again with Chiellini. Maybe it was just the fact he went to ground and then the ball rolled against his hand, his arm.
We haven't been advised that there is a VAR check going on. That's a test of the switch of position for Di Lorenzo.
Yeah, got the fresh man. This is Llorente up against him. Yeah, no, that's a natural movement, isn't it? Going to ground, completely unaware, really. Can't give a penalty for that.
Referee saw it clearly. Yeah, had a peep, but didn't need any more than that. Corner for Spain. There's a winning goal in the offing here. Alba got a bang in the face, but he's picked himself up. I think he was worried that there might be a counter-attack going on behind him. There wasn't.
Maybe just trying it on a touch there.
There's Busquets.
trickier.
The referee saw all of that. Simon off his line again.
Better ball, and Belotti could have got on the end of that.
We're a minute away from extra time at Wembley. Busquets caught in possession. Cassina's there. And Chiesa to switch the play, but he's offside. And I think that will be that. Alan, your thoughts on the 90 minutes here? We can't take our eyes off it.
No, I mean, his team have come second best. I think there's no doubt about that. And the fact they went a goal ahead shocked everybody in this stadium. But Luis Enrique's side have come back, showed character as well as class. And tough one to call in the next 30 minutes. But Spain will feel they've maybe got the upper hand over Italy.
Time will have different dynamics really with so many new players on. And we go to extra time. Goalless first half, a goal apiece in the second half, and spectacular ones. Federico Chiesa taking a liking to Wembley with a lovely whip shot. But Alvaro Morata spurned at the start, but a scorer as a substitute to keep Spain in the contest. After 90 minutes at Wembley, it's Italy 1, Spain 1.
Many thanks to Martin Tyler and Alan Smith. An additional 30 minutes to try and settle the encounter between Italy and Spain to book a spot in the finals of the European Championship. It could even go all the way to penalties. Another game for Spain to push through the 90-minute barrier all the way to 120. How will they last with this extra time? Let's get the pundits into the conversation, though, Federico Balzarati and also Jose Enrique, and look at the goals which have put us in this position. Starting with the Italian goal, Federico, it was Chiesa. Yeah. Again, the transitional play was so quick here.
Yeah, Donnarumma, 2 vertical pass, Verratti to Insigne, then direct behind the line, the defender Spain. And then it's very, very good, the finishing by Chiesa. You know, it's really, really his characteristic. He scored many goals like that. First touch inside, and then the kick, the finishing is amazing. Is part of his characteristic.
As for the Spanish goal, Morata driving at Chiellini, right foot, left foot, finish, calm as you like, and a brilliant 1-2 between himself and Dani Olmo. Jose.
Yeah, what a great goal, to be honest. Since Morata coming to the pitch, it makes a massive difference because he starts running into the defenders, and here he makes a beautiful run into the defenders. Obviously, they tried to stop him and block the middle. He passed to Olmo, and he kept running, and then they passed the ball to him, and actually, I thought he was going to miss it again, but he has scored it, and to be honest, it was very, very well deserved in my opinion. Spain has been playing great, and with 1-0 up Italy, to be honest with you, I wasn't sure Spain was going to be able to score, you know, because Italy are the best on that, you know.
Me too. Me too, Jose. I agree totally with you, because Spain are playing better than us. But then when we say 1-0, I say okay, now it's finished. But Spain deserve, and the goal, the Morata goal is very, very beautiful. Yes, also the finishing, the 1-2 is a great goal.
As heavily criticised as Alvaro Morata is, he's now scored more European Championship goals than any other Spanish player, overtaking the great Fernando Torres. So he has delivered on the big stage yet again for his country, although he has missed his chances, of course, but they wouldn't perhaps be here if it weren't for some of his goals. Wow. What about the substitution choices for you, Jose, from Luis Enrique when he was chasing the game?
Yeah, I believe after 1-0, you can see how he's into the game, you know, straight away he goes into making changes. Okay, something has to change, we need to be more attacking. we need to go and running into the space. And Morata's chance, it was obviously not just because of the goal. He actually created a lot of problems there in the back, you know. And what you're talking about Morata, listen, for me, he's a great player, very, very good player. Give his all, always. He gives his 100%. You cannot complain a bit about what he does for the team and how much and how hard he works for the team. But it's true that if he's already, you know, past Fernando Torres, if he scored half of the chances that he has, he will be probably the best striker in the world, you know, because his work rate is great and he has so many qualities. He's tall as well, so he actually can head the ball as well. He just needs to score a little bit more, need less chances to score a goal, you know, but definitely you cannot say one bit about him because he always gives 100% for the team.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for your comments. We'll be back on your screens once everything is settled down. That does include penalties as well, should it go to that length. We're going to pass you back to Alan Smith alongside Martin Tyler.
Extra time underway at Wembley. 1-1 after 90 minutes. Spain with perhaps that little bit of extra momentum, having equalised. Time was ticking away from them. Here's Laporte. The coaches have had their say. The medics have done what they can to keep the blood flowing, the muscles from tightening up.
Yeah, you wonder how Chiellini and Bonucci are feeling at this point.
Toloi is a more recent arrival, but all of them have been troubled by this young man, Dani Olmo.
Yeah, a little change in position, but still a thorn in Italy's side.
Totally leaving it to Jordi Alba. Have to be very precise, you feel. Tall Italian line of those defending. There's a little nudge on Di Lorenzo on the edge of the area. Painful one for Berardi. Jordi Alba, well, he's hurt himself in doing so, or whether he wants to avoid getting punished for that. It wasn't particularly nasty, was it?
No, I'd imagine that Berardi would have been a little more hurt than the fullback.
Also, spare a thought for the ground staff here, who have a little bit less time to get the pitch ready again for tomorrow evening. I'm quite careful with it through the 4 weeks of the Euro. Teams like Italy, and they played Austria here, they weren't allowed to train on it the night before, as is often the custom.
Yeah, I remember many years when it was struggling, this pitch, but it's in fine condition now.
I think it's about time probably we stop calling it the new Wembley. It's the second Wembley. It's some 14 years of history to itself now. Undoubtedly a stadium where all the great players of the world want to have a match on their CV. If that match is a winning one, and if it's a winning one in a tournament, then it's extra special. Asked when we arrived, Alan, by a lot of the fans, could you pick a winner before the game? It was very hard to answer that question. It's still very hard.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I mean, you could argue that Italy have been the more impressive team up until the start of this match, but Spain have been the more impressive during it.
Well put. Llorente, one of the cluster of substitutes. Another regulation change for the tournament because of COVID. It's too long for Llorente. The more minutes Aymeric Laporte plays for Spain, the more Spanish he'll be feeling.
To playing for one, just falling on the base of his back.
It wasn't a foul. Referee recognising the pain for Belotti.
Just knocked off balance, and these pitches are firm, and it hurts when you land in that fashion. Suggesting an elbow was used.
Have an old-fashioned drop ball, a new style drop ball. Spain were in possession when the referee called a halt, but not for long. They have had penalty shootouts in 2008 quarter-final of the Euro, and also in the Confederations Cup in 2013, both of which were won by Spain, but we're a bit off that yet. Berardi claims the throw and gets it. His youthfulness is being tested now. Pedri. Morata. Dani Olmo.
Ooh, that's a nasty one.
That's probably the nastiest one of the night.
You can't say fatigue played a part in that.
No. But the fact that Dani Olmo has given every defender he's come up against a problem, got to stop him one way or the other. He'd take a yellow card for it. Concern for the Italian fans. Hope for the Spaniards. It's a clever one, pushed out by Donnarumma. Morata! It's ended up as a goal kick, I think.
Well, it's an inventive free kick because nobody was expecting the low drive, and Donnarumma wasn't, I don't think. That might have just been curling into the far corner for Morata. Such an awkward one for the keeper, this. A tangle in the middle.
Yeah, Belotti does get a free kick this time. Laporte thought he could get there. I've seen a substitute striker for the opposition come on score. Belotti, those eyes lighting up with a chance to finish a hero here for Italy. by Laporte, who's looked every inch an international footballer in this tournament. It's quite a rarity in the Premier League to have, especially a top team like Manchester City, a player who's not international. Berardi this time the culprit. Well, they're getting extra football for their investment in a ticket here. And it's been hard enough to get to watch a football match anywhere in the world over the last 12 months or so. A much bigger crowd expected here tomorrow night. So some of the tackles are a bit tired now. As you said earlier, it's not always the ones who've been on from the start have been the culprits. That's to see.
Danny Olmo's not looking tired, is he?
No. Everybody on the balance of what they've achieved in the match so far deserves to win the game. It's him. It doesn't work out like that. Somebody can seize the moment or will be into the shootout. Mustn't call it a lottery. Luis Enrique says it's anything but that. They practice hard, and they got their reward against Switzerland.
Well, they've had the fair share of problems with penalties.
Oh yeah, yeah, they can do the shootouts, but not the ones in the regulation play. Missed 5 in a row. After making a run from the centre out to the left, but Laporte kept it short. Into Pedri. Here's Llorente. Rodri trying to move people around in midfield. Olmo comes short and again achieves what he set out to do. Switch the point of attack. Busquets. Jordi Alba. Now Rodri. In by Moreno. It's awkward for the goalkeeper. And follow-up shot from Llorente wasn't really struck very well. Spain pushing.
Yep, now the team knocking on the door, looking the more likely at the moment. Was an awkward one for Donnarumma, that he didn't get any distance on the clearance.
Clever curling ball from Gerard Moreno, tailored for Morata, who would have got it but for the goalkeeper, I think. For all their age, Bonucci and Chiellini, there's not an ounce of extra fat on them. Lean and mean to the opposition.
And also they can appreciate these moments more than most. It's going to be the last tournament, you'd imagine.
Movements in Italy to try and stop Chiellini retiring. If Italy were to win it, it would be maybe a great note to go out on. But he's played not just his usual leadership role on the field. He's magnificent around the camp, setting standards, driving the younger men on, showing them what you can achieve if you go about it the right way, if you're a consummate professional. He's a very intelligent guy as well. Credit to his profession as well as his own personal standards. He's almost been a credit tonight. Yeah, sorry, I feel I'm banging on about him a bit, but what he's done has been extremely impressive.
Yeah, lovely turn. And it was a difficult ball he was attempting. The weight of the pass had to be perfect.
Towards the conclusion of the first period of extra time. They don't know. Wherever they're watching from, we don't know. Wherever you're watching around the world, you don't know. It's on a knife edge at Wembley for a place in the final of Euro 2020. Busquets. And again. Taken on by Rodri. Pedri. Another completed pass. Laporte. Here's Rodri. Llorente. He's got a chance for an angle for a cross here. Only a half clearance. Jorginho gets it away.
Well, Italy just about doing enough at the moment to protect their goal. Him and his teammates using all their experience.
Well, I've got a shocking statistic for you. Pedri's passing has dropped to 99%.
It's inhuman, isn't it?
Chiesa, then Morata. Nothing to add to that. In the first period of extra time, 15 minutes away from penalties, and Italy won, Spain won. In the old days, maybe not that long ago, he used to have to turn straight round, but I think a bit more compassion for the players. The regulations now, and whether it's cramp or an injury. I mean, an injury now and you win the semi-final, you can't play in the final. There is a council of war from the coaching staff. Daniele De Rossi with the beard, who used to play for Luis Enrique, very much in his own camp. There is only so much that can be said. There's only so much that a player can take in. It's mentally tiring as well as physically tiring. Football at this level, concentration has to be immaculate. What were you like, Alan, when you, in these periods, do you feel you were hearing what was said, or were you in your own world?
Well, no, you're trying to listen to what the manager's got to say, and you're thinking about your own physical state as well, and thinking, well, as a striker, hoping that a chance comes your way and you can be the hero, having put in so much hard work up until this point.
Well, the extra substitute allowed in extra time, and Busquets finally gives way to Thiago. Third period of extra time for Spain in this tournament, Alan. And that actually happened to a nation in the last Euro in 2016, Portugal, who ended up lifting the trophy. He's getting more appreciation from the opposite manager than he was in the first half from his own.
Yeah, Enrique wasn't laughing when he curled that one in.
Bernardeschi is not quite ready to come on there, being a little generous with it. The circumstances, I think, would justify that. Felix Brick still looking to see what's going to happen, or is he going to start?
Yes, Chiesa, I think. I mean, he doesn't look right over on that far side.
Well, couldn't blame Morata for doing that, because he caught Donnarumma out earlier. And he was close. That actually, if that had made contact, he'd probably be off. He was trying to make contact with the ball, to be fair. It was fairly reckless. Here's Danny Olmo. He's up for the fight as he was in the opening minutes. And here we are in the opening minutes of the second period of extra time.
He's wriggled away from whoever he's faced out there. A lovely appreciation of space and where opponents are.
Well, finally, we thought Chiesa might be substituted after about half an hour. And here he goes in what the 107th minute, leaving this behind as an eternal memory.
There wasn't much of the goal to aim at there. There really wasn't. Such an accurate strike.
On comes his Juventus clubmate. But Bernardeschi comes on where he has to play a part in defending here, and the set-piece skills of Thiago, who's actually born in Italy. He was trying to really hurt his country of birth. Thiago, of course, son of a World Cup winner for Brazil, brought up in Spain, and choosing Spain for his country of nationality. A really cosmopolitan character. Nicely done by Belotti to Berardi. Italy on the charge here. And intervention was a good one.
And Bernardeschi just trying a little flick, whereas he might have been able to drag it into his path. Yeah, it's that time.
Cramp time.
First part to play in the match. Bernardeschi. Just wondering whether he could have dragged it through that little gap. It might have got a shout behind him.
Garcia slipping. Laporte did well. They've put it back to where the goalkeeper could deal with it. It's the end for Eric.
Yeah, luckily for them, they've got another substitution.
I don't know whether we'll ever learn to call him just Eric. He was always Garcia at Manchester City, but... Pau Torres finally gets into the semi-final, having been left out at the start of it. It's certainly a pair they're used to playing, but what it does usually mean, it looks like so again, he wants to play on the left, which is where Laporte likes to play.
Two left-footers.
Plenty of times when there's two right-footers, and we never mention that, really. It's odd when there are two left-footers, and certainly, having seen Laporte in his club career, very rarely plays the right side as centre-back. That's where he is now. It's a little check that can be exploited here by Berardi! Retrieved by Di Lorenzo. And Berardi is in again here, and the flag goes up.
There's a fine finish as well. Yeah, just trying to bend his run, but always offside. He probably would have known.
Just a little spurt from Italy. Second wind. Maybe at this stage a fourth or fifth wind. They're looking for a second goal, a clincher. But the same applies to the team in white. Long into the night here in North London, North West London. Rodri. Court. So Rodri and then fire Pau Torres. Spain trying to not exactly strutting their stuff now, but there is stuff still there, even if the strut might not be. Llorente. Rodri. Thiago. Jordi Alba. Spain. It's a stoppage here. Italy say why. The referee's entitled to do it if he sees something wrong. He must have seen a foul, not just the injury.
Yeah, you'd have thought so. That was it.
It's measured from Spain again. Whereas when Italy get it, it's gung-ho. But it's produced... There's been no clash of styles that in the end makes the game not watchable. It's just the opposite. But which way is going to be the winning way? Or will it come down to the ability to strike the ball from 12 yards?
Luis Enrique might insist it's not a lottery, and of course there's a lot of skill involved in it, but it's still not the way either side would want this contest to be decided.
Once upon a time, when they became champions for the only time, Alan, in 1968, Italy, they got through their semi-final by the toss of a coin.
That definitely isn't the way.
We've moved on a bit from then, but... And still, if people say, yeah, it's not right and should be done a different way, we'll come up with a better way, would be my answer to that.
Yeah. It's the only way, I think, after extra time.
It's a football skill. I guess the only negative is that often it is the case that one person is seen as the villain of the piece, because that's the decisive miss. But one of those people in that category is going to bring a team here tomorrow night. A failure of the spot from the spot in 1996 in the semi-final for Gareth Southgate. It's only a small blemish on a wonderful football career, and he hopefully having more success. He will be thinking from a managerial point of view in a semi-final in this stadium 25 years on. Here's Belotti. Parati's onside.
Pau Torres there with a vital interception.
Well, that's the fineness of the margins, isn't it? Because it's broken to Morata. And suddenly there's a threat at the other end.
Just lost a bit of momentum going forward, Spain, trying to build it again.
Morata. Still going. Corrected momentarily by Belotti. Moreno. Petri with another fine pass. But, what are we now? Around 5 minutes. Looking at the Spain penalty takers against Switzerland, not many of them on the pitch. Offside. Busquets had a penalty save. Well, he's off. Danny almost scored. He's on. Rodri had one save. He's on. Moreno scored. He's on. Zabal, who wrapped it up. And those substituted.
It's at this kind of point, though, that those players will be thinking about penalties. Certainly the coaches will be. Unless somebody can come up with something extraordinary.
And the goalkeepers will be thinking about penalties. And he's got a bit of form, hasn't he? And Donnarumma's got plenty of ability to... He hadn't needed to go to spot kicks in this tournament. But they did go out to Germany in the quarter-final, having knocked out Spain in the previous round. We commentators rely a lot on history and facts from the past, but in truth, it is what happens in the present that creates the history, and we're getting really close now to that moment. Morata. And so Bonucci gets booked. Morata coming deep. Bonucci going with him.
Yeah, the boot was fairly high.
I always think, you know, for a defender to get booked that far from home, so to speak, is unnecessary. It's see ball, see man, wherever you are on the pitch, if you've got that mindset.
And time ticking down, he's trying to make things happen for his team.
If he'd won it fairly in that position, you're right, absolutely right. As always. Wembley might see something very dramatic here. Rodri, as Spain push for a winner. Pau Torres, and allowed to advance. Pedri.
Well, he needed to take that on himself there, Pedri. He's such a sublime pass for the ball, but that ball was never on for Dani Olmo.
Well, they've fought tooth and nail for their nations in front of those fortunate enough to be able to get tickets for the game, to be able to travel to the game. Morata to switch the play. And it's just the worst ball because it dropped for Thiago, who can pass it, but that's not one of his better efforts.
He got rushed into it when he saw the sprint of Llorente. He was eager to find his man.
Maybe past one or two the supporters' bedtimes. A bit late for me, to be honest with you. But we're into the last 30 seconds, plus a little bit of added time, maybe a bit of time wasting being recognised. I don't know why you would waste time here. I suppose the goalkeeper might have such faith in himself that he say, I'll win it for you. Donnarumma was given the hurry up, whatever the reason. Not a foul, and that is it. Alan, does it deserve this kind of conclusion, the tightness of the contest?
Well, Italy came back into it, didn't they? They showed a lot of resilience and caused some problems as the second half wore on, and in extra time as well. So you can't deny them this chance, as impressive as Spain have been. An impossible one to call now at this point.
Well, I'll finish the 120 minutes by saying, remember that Spain got through the quarter-final by beating Switzerland. No side has ever won 2 penalty shootouts at the same Euro. We go to penalties, 1-1 after 120 minutes at Wembley. I know you well enough to know, Alan, you took a penalty to get a hat-trick in a game against Manchester United. Were there any shootouts?
I took one in the League Cup match against Millwall. I only took 2 penalties. Neither of them were in a shootout, no. I always veered away from taking penalties. My manager tried to persuade me, saying it would boost my goal tally, but I never fancied them.
You have been known to say when defenders step up to take penalties, why don't the strikers do it?
Well, you've got to want to do it, haven't you?
Of course. Yeah.
You've got to want to do it, and some defenders are excellent at them. It's a mindset, isn't it, from 12 yards? You've got to be confident. I always remember the great Kenny Dalglish never went near them, and I always thought that was good enough for me.
All for one and one for all. But in a team game, what we're about to see is a very individual process. The walk, the eye-to-eye with the goalkeeper. There's less pressure on the keepers than any other player involved, because the outfield players are supposed to score, and indeed I suppose the pressure comes when it gets round to the goalkeepers having to take penalties themselves.
Yeah, and what they will get reminded of by the ref before the penalties start is make sure you keep 1 foot on the line. It's the worst thing in the world is to make a great save and then to find out that your trailing leg, your foot, was an inch off that line. So you have to be so careful in the movement.
Yeah, Michael Oliver was the referee for the Spain-Switzerland game. He made that point very strongly. Jordi Alba now with the armband on, and they're tossing for ends. Obviously there's a Spain end and an Italy end. This is a Euro semi-final. Not a testimonial match.
Well, Chiellini's enjoying it. I don't know if Jordi Alba is.
Well, he's got a huge collection of medals anyway, so... But we go to the Italy end. Well, that's why Chiellini was fighting for that and smiling when he got it. As we said earlier, it's not to everyone's liking, but I have to say that the drama that it produces is incredible.
Yeah, and you can see the bond between the keepers, because they know what's coming. Makes great TV, doesn't it?
It does. Well, first to go is Manuel Locatelli, the Italian with the Spanish Christian name, the scorer of 2 fine goals in the group stage. His first double in his professional career. But now it's, from his point of view, all down to 1 penalty kick. He will start the shootout. Simon, fresh from his heroics against Switzerland. Here we go. Locatelli, and First blood to Spain. Simon went the right way and got a good hand on it, two hands in fact.
What a good stop that is. You can always ask questions when somebody misses, but wasn't too far away from being in the corner, that. Unai Simon using his full height to get across.
Well, Dani Olmo scored in the Switzerland shootout. He's a leading candidate for star of the evening here. But he has a job to do against the huge frame of Donnarumma. And he's missed it!
Well, that in a nutshell is the challenge in these situations. You can have had as good as a game as he has had, hardly put a foot wrong, but the pressure from 12 yards can get to anybody, and it's got to Dani Olmo there.
So here comes Belotti. Can he open the scoring in the shootout? A pause, a little shuffle, and he fires it in. Goalkeeper went the right way, but the power beat him. 1-0 to Italy.
Yeah, if in doubt, smack it hard. Not just that, he's hit it in the corner, he's found that side netting.
Well, another of the successful penalty takers against Switzerland, but one in that category is missed already. Gerard Moreno, a natural goal scorer and a natural penalty taker. Excellent penalty kick.
Yeah, the best one, yeah. Always takes a little bit of courage to lift it.
Here comes Leo Bonucci. Right at the end of his 108th Italian cap. His country looked to him from the spot. And Bonucci does the job, as he has been doing for his country for over a decade.
Yep, that is a leader's contribution in front of his own fans.
Thiago.
Well, there aren't many more technically adept players than Thiago. But that's not to say this is easy.
But he makes it look easy. Waited. Saw the movement and just rolled it in the other corner. 1-1 after 2 hours of nip and tuck football. Bernardeschi didn't have too many touches. As a late substitute, he's got a touch here that carries huge importance. Left-footed. And he fires it home. Real authority.
Yeah, Unai Simon was showing him the other side of the goal. He'd moved across to touch the keeper, you can see. But he's put it in the shorter side, you might say. Top finish.
Well, Morata took a penalty here. It was a Community Shield in his Chelsea days and didn't do very well. And it was at this end of the stadium. Here he comes, and Italy are very close. Morata, who's missed a penalty in the group stage, who scored a lovely goal tonight, but the penalty was beyond him and not beyond the goalkeeper.
Yeah, Donnarumma makes up his mind early where Morata's going to put it. Really good save.
Well, there is no more practice penalty taker. Chelsea's top scorer in the Premier League with 7 penalties this season. He hasn't scored all his penalties, but he is, surely Italy will feel, the right man for this occasion.
We're going to see the little hop as we normally do.
This for Italy to win it, Jorginho style. They are in the final. Their run goes on. The hardest of tasks. Spain set them all sorts of problems. But Morata's miss, or save, we should say, for Donnarumma. Alan Smith.
Wow. When you need a cool head, I mean, that wasn't cool from Jorginho, that was ice cold. Heartbreak for a Spain team that gave us so much entertainment tonight, so much slick, smooth football, brilliant football. But Italy, well, they will not lie down, will they? The resilience, the togetherness, the spirit of the team is remarkable. And he supplied the finishing touch. They'll be beginning to believe that their name is on this trophy. It might just be.
Well, the extremes of emotion that these shootouts bring. Some people will try to tell you that this game finished as a draw. Just look at the faces. You've got winners and you've got losers. And the regulations say you go to extra time after 90 minutes and then you go to penalties. And the penalties have separated 2 splendid sides on the night that have given the semi-final the gloss that this competition deserves. It's been a wonderful tournament. We've had to wait an added year for it. You ache for the losers, but you feel the joy from the Italian end. They got the right, they won the toss, and they've won the semi-final.
Yeah, we've got a lot more drama, heartache, joy to come in this tournament, but tonight has given us plenty, and haven't they loved it in the Italy end. Wonderful stuff. Heartbreak though, of course. You feel for Spain, who, as I say, put so much into this contest.
And now they will stay and they will watch tomorrow as England take on Denmark for the second place in the final. Jorginho's taken so many penalties in his career, and he has made it an art form. And in the end, he decided it. 1-1 after 90 minutes, 1-1 after 120 minutes. But when it came to penalties, it's Italy's night in London. A great night for football, and by the finest of margins, congratulations to Italy.
Martin Tyler and Alan Smith, the commentators at Wembley Stadium, and Italy will be returning to this exact venue on the weekend to face either England or Denmark in the European Championships. It's now officially confirmed. They were pushed all the way by Spain after taking the lead. Morata coming off the bench, scoring the equaliser, but he missed his penalty in the shootout, as did Dani Olmo as well. England-Denmark will be played tomorrow, kicking off at 3 a.m. should you wish to enjoy that. Pre-match starting at 2 o'clock. But that's looking at tomorrow. Let's focus on what we've witnessed here. We can see the jubilation, the elation seen on the faces of each and every single Italian. They know what a job they've done today. They know the statement they've made. They've had to get there the hard way, seeing off the #1 ranked team in the world, Belgium. Now they've seen off